The nomad with the red high-yield shoes and 400 HP EQ and IQ. Glossary. This is a glossary with an explanation of the words in the book and how I interpret them in their context of understanding. The wordings in the book are untraditional and appeal to your personal understanding and thus your perspective. When we talk about able, abilities, capabilities, we're talking about skills. Action, act, active, handle, react and reaction is the link between cause and effect, the link between the energetic and the physical concepts of emotional and operational management. Advising or counseling is based on data and it relates to notification or prediction of a condition in advance. An algorithm, the algorithm of consciousness, the intelligent algorithm, look at behavior patterns, the energetic conditions as the logical and emotional input, output, cause and effect, and thereby their integration with the outside world as possibilities and potentials. Anger refers to resistance, rejection, and being out of balance, while anxiety is what stops us from seeing, feeling, and being conscious about the core from which we and our actions originate. We also talk about what is appropriate or advantageous, which is what is to advantage, good for, beneficial, or simply has a positive effect. Balance or being balanced is to be able to comprehend and handle opposite poles in the 0 point, like plus and minus, integrated in a unit and balance in agreement. It's about peace. Based on reason, fundamental or keystone relates to concepts that are cornerstone. Behavior, conduct, mechanical signatures and patterns are operational calculations, and logical behavior patterns, which is a kind of physical DNA. Our beliefs and faith are final mindsets that are based on a truth. We also talk about boundaries, self-love, trust and flow, an uncompromising love for oneself, out of self-respect and self-awareness, with universal ethics and morals in mind, fulfilling our need without causing any inappropriate costs to anybody or damaging anyone consciously. Capabilities and abilities relate to skills, while capacity and capacity ability relate to how much we comprehend and the ability to comprehend the opposite pole. We also talk about cause, which is an operational energy, vision, mission, values, and intention. And related to that cause, an effect, which of course speaks to input and output. When we talk about changes, we are talking about development or phasing something out. And related to that, change ability, which is the ability to choose changes. When we talk about changes of the free will, we are talking about independent and self-thinking changes which do some good for a unit, the positive ego. The circular condition cycle is when more units or conditions create an energy condition clockwise and never stop. Circumstances, of course, are the conditions which describe the present tense, past tense, or future tense. It refers to situations or results. Coincidence and coincidence ability relates to circumstances that are not included or not predicted. Combined change are changes which comprehend our 4 different emotional basic conditions in an integration and transform complexity into simplicity. Changes which several units in a system create together, a change based on several conditions. Combined consciousness relates to our full capacity, emotional and operational capacity. Combined consciousness ability relates to different abilities in an interaction to be able to simplify a complexity like EQ and IQ. Sustained consciousness ability is a sustained and balanced integration between divergents like EQ and IQ. Combined intelligence relates to full comprehension abilities, our emotional and operational abilities. Comprehension ability is the way we format and comprehend information and make it an integrated part of our understanding. Making something concrete or tangible is a simplified and understandable condition. Conduct, behavior, mechanical signatures and patterns are operational calculations and a logical behavior pattern, kind of physical DNA. Conscious relates to knowledge of cause and effect of a condition, or knowledge both emotionally and operationally. Consciousness and awareness is energy, and thus an energy condition, breathing ability on energy. Consciousness is a cause that has an effect, which creates consequences, circumstances translating into experiences, experiences resulting in changes, which result in renewed energy, that brings wisdom, which again becomes a cause, and so the cycle continues. Constant change are changes on which the dualities are built. They're always existing and are the cause of life, of movement, development, and phasing out. When we talk about constant or sustained or sustainability, it relates to the strong link in a system which always survives and creates balance. Sustained abilities that survive and are resilient through resistance, rejection, phasing out, and completion. Conversion or transformation is about changing a condition to a quite different condition. Counseling or advising is about notification or prediction of a condition in advance, and it's based on data. Create, in this context, is about designing, creating, causing, and being responsible. And in the context of this book, criticism and condemnation is to judge something to be, for instance, wrong. Definition and comprehension ability is the way we format and comprehend information and make it an integrated part of our understanding. Development is to change a condition to another, even bigger, optimized, streamlined, or improved version. Diagnosis is about a deepening, concretization with explanations and mapping of cause and effect. Divergent or divergent abilities is about handling and creating the differences and are thereby not included conditions in a system. Diversity relates to differences and opposites. When we talk about a doctrine or knowledge, we're talking about what we know of as information, which can be shifting and variable, and can be used in, amongst others, science, as, for instance, experiences. Dynamic means versatility, energy, movement to action, while dynamic change relates to changes that shift, stop, and start action and energy in a way that influences others. It's the intuitive intellect. In the book, we also talk about dynamic intuition, emotional intellect, and humanitarian intuition. These are abilities that are based on our not concrete emotions, the emotional intelligences, EQ. The designation of humanity as being distinct from other living organisms, inborn, not concrete emotions and senses. Effect relates to results and influences. Emotional abilities are things that are not concrete and not tangible abilities based on intuitive emotions, while the emotional condition are not concrete and not tangible condition, like, for instance, emotions. The emotional intelligence are abilities as an input, energy to the transformer station. Emotional intellect, humanitarian intuition, dynamic intuition, abilities based on our not concrete emotions. The emotional intelligence's EQ. The designation for humanity being different from other living organisms. Inborn, not concrete emotions and senses. Emotional science is the intangible and energetic science based on the intellect of our emotions, while emotionally based is a condition based on what is not tangible and not concrete. Of course, our emotions are feelings defining different energy forms or a consciousness condition, and being used as the input cause of the next effect, which again is used as a cause. When we talk about energetic, we are talking about behavior patterns of the movement, while energetic genetic are the inborn emotional DNA. Energetic science is the science concerning our emotional EQ, while energetic signature is our unique and individual energetic behavior pattern as a physical DNA. Of course, energy is anything with a purpose, with an input and output. In the book, we also talk about the entrepreneur, and in this context, we mean the innovator, the idea maker, and the transformer. We talk about errors, failures, and mistakes, which are simply an imbalance. We talk about evaluation, which means reflections. We talk about evolution, which in this context relates to sustained, developing, and sustainable changes over time. A lot of the book refers to fact-based, which of course is a condition based on tangible and concrete knowledge. Failure and phasing out relates to the end of a condition, while faith and beliefs are the final mindsets based on a truth. The book talks about feel and sense, which relates to feeling emotions and sensuous things. It also speaks about female and male, the feminine and masculine, a description of the functions of the left and right sides of the brain, abilities, energy, and action output, which all humans have. Female-male management, female-male consciousness and perspective relates to the feminine and masculine. Cooperation and integration, handling as needed in differences. Handling and understanding of input and output based on our wholeness with all of our abilities. In this context, when we use the word feminine, it's the description of the functions of the left side of the brain, abilities, energy, and action output, which all humans have. The book also talks about flow, boundaries, self-love, and trust. This is an uncompromising love for oneself, of self-respect and self-awareness, with universal ethics and morals in mind, fulfilling our need without causing any inappropriate costs to anybody or damaging anyone consciously. In the book, when we talk about future tense, we are talking about a condition which does not yet exist in the physical place where you are. A condition, the existence of which you can create based on experiences of the past, as well as possibilities and solutions of the present tense. The condition that continuously shows us the consequence of our decisions, and which can be changed as long as we live. Growth is to change a condition to another condition under development, improvement, optimization, and thereby innovation. While growth and passion or strength is a feeling of happiness as a fuel for development. When the book talks about handle, action, act, active, react, or reaction, we're talking about the link between cause and effect, the link between the energetic and the physical concepts of emotional and operational management. A cause has an effect. That effect has a consequence. The consequence has an impact on circumstances, which changes our experiences. These experiences bring about changes which result in renewed energy. From this renewed energy comes wisdom, and this gives us a renewed cause, and so the cycle continues. In the context of the book, or when we talk about happiness and power and positive willpower, it's about the feeling of success, because happiness is when we succeed. Humanitarian intuition or dynamic intuition and emotional intellect are our abilities based on our not concrete feelings. The emotional intelligence is EQ, the term of humanity, unlike other living organisms. The human energetic blueprint is the energetic signature EQ blueprint, while hypotheses are abilities which realize and enable a mindset based on a law. Imbalance is to reject the opposite pole, being out of touch, not being harmonious, lacking sustained quality. Input relates to information and energy inside a system as the innovator or as the cause. Innovation and innovation ability is about inventing new and improved ways. An innovator is an inventor or a person who creates innovative products and services, while inspiration is about motivation, showing new possibilities and solutions, or thought-provoking stories, which create synergy in a person. Instinct is a concrete energy information, such as thoughts, which occur in the head and can be felt in the body, which speak to us through our feelings or the reaction patterns of an action. Integration, and integration ability is to be able to combine several different conditions in an agreement. Intelligence, abilities. Combined intelligence, full understanding abilities of both emotional and operational abilities. The intelligent algorithm, the algorithm of consciousness, relates to behavior patterns, energetic conditions as the logical and emotional input, output, cause, and effect, and thereby their integration with the outside world as possibilities and potentials. Intention or purpose is the mindset which creates the cause of an effect, and thereby a driving force. Intuition is energetic information, which can be sensed in the stomach and the heart as signals from our nervous system speaking to us as a thought. Intuition is usually the first thought, but has nothing to do with our thoughts based on experiences. When we talk about knowledge, doctrines, learning, it's what we know of as information, which can be shifting and variable. It can be used in, amongst others, science as experiences. Leadership is to lead, to create, to develop, and to phase out in wholenesses. Life is energy with a purpose. A linear condition is an interaction between two conditions, back and forth like plus and minus, meeting each other in the middle of the 0 point. Logical is tangible and concrete. A loop of time is 0 point, where the time ceases, where one condition is changed to another, where cause becomes effect, effect becomes consequence, which becomes a circumstance, which becomes an experience. These changes result in renewed energy, which gives us wisdom, which becomes a cause again. Self-management is our personal doctrine of happiness, self-consciousness, our understanding abilities which form our overview and generate our actions. Our navigation abilities are based on our energetic and physical abilities, combined as emotional and operational management. Our abilities that reflect and manifest our original competence and energetic signature and our reality. We, as the sublime entrepreneur architect, empower yourself by self-management, transformation, personal evolvement, that gives us individual change, transformation, strength, and growth, which form the link to the future with an evolving mindset. That's a thought form. The sustainable person relates to self-management. In the book, we also talk about manifestation, which relates to self-realization, self-creation, self-love, self-management, and self-consciousness, based on our complete intelligence as our combined intelligence, our combined consciousness, the link between the energetic and physical creation concepts, thus the conscious and the unconscious inner and outer world. An example, an architectural drawing that becomes a house. A thought, a wish, and dreams are made a reality. They're manifested. Masculine is a description of the functions of the right side of the brain, abilities, energy, and action output, which all humans have. When we use the word mechanical, we're talking about an operational system, while mechanical signature or conduct or behaviors or patterns are operational calculations and logical behavior patterns, kind of physical DNA. The methodology we refer to in the book relates to the process and the tools that present the knowledge, the theories, and the hypotheses together with the algorithm in an interaction into tangible and usable tools. And of course, when we talk about motivating change, we talk about changes which inspire and create motivation for perspectivation of several possibilities. It's change based on happiness. Nature, in this context, is the creator and the resource container. It's a physical framework for everything, and thus our cause of survival. Need is a demand or a wish. The negative ego is where our reaction patterns are based only on the basic primitive need and not on the civilized and developed need by being an adult. An unhealthy and not independent self-image. Dependency on other people's recognition and confirmations when our actions would harm other people or when we do not take responsibility for ourselves. A neutral energy condition is the 0 point, where all conditions are reset in the present tense and are changed to another condition. Non-organic means not living or man-made. Observant is a consciousness, an energy, while observations are the abilities which an observant consciousness has. Operational abilities are the concrete and tangible abilities based on instinctive logic. Emotional and operational management are our abilities combined as alpha handling of integration and cooperation in differences based on our two main intelligence forms. The operational condition are the concrete and tangible conditions, like, for instance, the thinking mechanism, while the operational intelligence are our abilities which drive the transformer station to output energy. Operational intellect, the ego's instincts, organic instincts, these are our abilities based on our concrete thinking. The operational intelligence is IQ. The designation for strategic thinking, compared to that of other living organisms, it's inborn concrete thinking and senses. Operational science is the concrete and tangible science based on logical intellect. An opposite pole relates to opposites, various skills and differences based on negative and positive. Optimization and Reformatting Center is a center for optimization, transformation, and production of an input into an output. Organic is something that's alive or which originates from something living. So organic genetics is physical DNA, which cannot be analyzed in a laboratory, while organic instincts are inborn concrete thinking and senses. An original signature is a unique and specific blueprint, DNA or fingerprint, which represents you, a system or a wholeness. Originality means unique, original and special. An outer-inner condition is a diagnosis, status and explanation of an energetic physical situation in a specific period of time. An output is reformatted information. It's an end product, an effect. Passion and growth and strength is a feeling of happiness as a fuel for development. In the book, when we talk about the past tense, it's the condition that no longer exists at the physical spot where you stand. A condition that cannot be changed, but only be experienced as effect and consequence in the present tense. A pattern, behavior, conduct, mechanical signature relates to operational calculations and logical behavior patterns, physical DNA. The pattern breaker is abilities to accept an external effect as a change and to take it into the consciousness, the condition of the energy, for a change from one condition to another. A change of a consciousness condition from receiver to pattern breaker who is responsible for actions is operational intelligence. Peace is a feeling of balance. In the book, when we talk about the perspective of female-male management or female-male consciousness, we're talking about the feminine and the masculine. Cooperation and integration handling as needed in differences. Handling and understanding of input and output based on our wholeness with all of our abilities. We talk about physical or physical science. Of course, it's about science, about the tangible. The positive ego is where our reaction patterns are based not only on the basic primitive needs, but also on the civilized and developed need, being adults, a healthy, independent self-image. The positive ego gives us a feeling of happiness and of succeeding without other people's acknowledgement. The positive ego, which is not afraid to face other people's rejection, or even reject something itself. The ego being curious about new ideas and quality-based solutions for an equal and sustained result for everybody. Possibilities, or as we call them in the book, possibility ability, are solutions, skills which make way for different perspectivations in order to find potentials and solutions. Possibility ability is the ability to work with solutions. Potentials, potential ability, are opportunities. They're all the opportunities given for development and growth. Power, positive willpower, and happiness are feelings of success because happiness is when we succeed. The present tense is the condition which is present right here and now at the physical place where you are, where you can feel and think, see, act, and change a condition. It's a condition which holds possibilities and solutions. In the book, when we talk about probability ability, we're talking about strategic abilities aiming for the best possibilities of completing the required condition. Abilities which calculate, thus reformatting the not concrete into concrete conditions as statistics or our organic instincts. Probable and statistic changes are foreseen changes based on calculations and the logical intellect. Pulse relates to breathing ability, the cause of life, energy, and creating movement. It's about development and phasing out, while purpose and intention is a mindset which creates the cause of an effect and thereby the driving force. In the book, when we talk about quality, we mean sustained balance. Quantifying the intellect of emotions is about making the emotions more tangible and concrete by the operational intellect. React, reaction, action, active, act, and handle are the links between cause and effect, the link between the energetic and the physical concepts of emotional and operational management. In the book, when we talk about the receiver, it's about the ability as the judge who judges the reception of the changes, trying to change the conscious condition or the energy. Our outer defense technique as an ego, a consciousness that evaluates the beneficence or the appropriateness or the effect of a condition on oneself. An evaluation which causes a possible receipt, rejection, resistance, growth, or phasing out. The receiver creates the causes for changes of a pattern. The receiver is responsible for making an estimation of when they must change their role from receiver to pattern breaker. Reception or reception center is the center for reception or rejection of input as energies for a transformation of an output. The rejection factor is the resistance, a factor which can be used for the wanted phase-out calculates the size of resistance or wanted change processes. Renewed energy is about inner power and strength, value, another consciousness, while a renewed cause is about renewed operational energy, having a mission, vision, values, and intention for the innovator. In the book, when we talk about reset or 0 point, it is the place where a condition is changed to a neutral condition, 0, before it is transformed to another condition. Resistance and rejection is being not cooperative, being non-selective or showing a defense mechanism in anxiety or emergency, while responsibility is about commitment, personal and collective leadership or management. In the book, when we use the phrase SCP, it's subconsciousness in the present tense. Science, in context of the book, relates to energetic science, which is the science concerning our emotional EQ. Emotional science, which is the intangible and energetic science based on the intellect of our feelings. and physical science, which is about science of the tangible. Sustainability and constant is the strong link in a system which always survives and creates balance. Sustained abilities that survive and are resilient through resistance, rejection, phasing out, and completion. An energetic signature is a unique and individual energetic behavior pattern as an emotional DNA, while a mechanical signature is operational calculations and logical behavior pattern, a physical DNA. A original signature is a unique and specific blueprint, DNA or fingerprint representing you, a system or a wholeness. Spirituality, in the context of this book, is a belief based on only one truth about the existence of mankind, spirit, soul, after death and before death, while spiritual science is the not tangible and energetic sciences. State condition is a diagnosis, status, and explanation of an energetic physical situation in a specific period of time. Success and balance is to succeed. Survival is to overcome obstacles and challenges and to find sustained possibilities and thus solutions. When we talk about the tangible and the concrete, we're obviously talking about the simplified and understandable conditions. The emotional condition are the not concrete and not tangible conditions like emotions. The emotional intelligence are our abilities as an input, which is energy to the transformer station. The pattern breaker are abilities to accept an external effect as a change and to take it into the consciousness, the condition of the energy for a change, from one condition to another. A change of a consciousness condition from receiver to pattern breaker, who is responsible for actions, the operational intelligence. The receiver is the ability as the judge who judges the reception of the changes, trying to change the conscious condition or the energy. Our outer defense technique as an ego, a consciousness that evaluates the beneficence or the appropriateness or the effect of a condition to oneself. An evaluation which causes a possible receipt, a rejection or a resistance, growth or phasing out. The receiver creates the causes for changes of a pattern. The receiver is responsible for making an estimation of when they must change their role from receiver to pattern breaker. In the book, when we talk about the way, it relates to the given direction based on which we think, feel, and act. The direction in which our energy is moving, alone and in an interaction with other units. Thoughts are mechanical results from processing and transformation of various feelings as an output, effect that can thus be used as the cause of the next effect. Time-based change are predefined changes within a time limit. Tools are tangible methodical tools for reformatting and transformation of knowledge into practical use, while transformation is movement patterns in change, development, and phasing out, changing a condition to a quite different condition. In the book, when we talk about unconscious, we mean without awareness, the invisible part, or without our control or our immediate knowledge. Understand and understandability is the way we receive and handle information as an input and an output. The universe is unconditional love, or when the physical laws cease. Value and worth relates to giving, sustained, and developing. Variation and variable change is variation of change, changes which are different and variable depending on the combined condition abilities and the conditions of the energies. Changes based on several units in an interaction. Vulnerability is a neutral basic condition around motivation and change in neutral circumstances. Wholeness is a system consisting of several units in one or more interactions and corresponding purposes. Wholeness and wholeness ability is to create wholeness and a greater overview. Wisdom is integration, creation, and innovation, while worth and value relates to giving, sustained, and developing. And the last phrase we use in the book relates to 0 point or reset, the place where a condition is changed to a neutral condition, 0, before it is transformed to another condition.